Hey, in this video I want to talk to you about a sale that our school just closed recently, and it took over 10 years to get this sale over the line. Pretty crazy story, lots of really important lessons for us to learn from this story for you in your teaching business. I'm going to share all about it right after this. Alright, so for those of you that have followed my journey a little bit, you know that I built a music school from teaching solo on my own with about 30 students, grew it into a massive school, about 2,000 students. I also built a charitable trust to kind of replicate what we do with students that pay for lessons, to now work with kids that can't afford lessons. And so I've moved from selling my music school to being chairman of the board of the trust, and so I'm still very active in my school, but I don't run the day-to-day operations. So it's very cool that I get to get all the benefits of both worlds. And one of the things that I did when I was growing my school is get lots of programs into local schools. And so we created these music buses, which fitted out like mobile classrooms. And we would have show teams. We'd go tour local schools to promote lessons at our studio in our big building, plus on these music buses. And we'd run all sorts of other cool programs, band programs, intro to music programs, all sorts of cool stuff. And one of the best methods was getting into schools, right? And it became this real massive funnel. So we were looking at lifetime value of a student, trying to go, hey, how do we get someone in when they're like 5 years old? How do we get them just addicted to music lessons? It's the most fun thing in their life. They want to stick around till they're 5, 7, 9, 10, 15, 18. And so I built this massive school which had this whole, we called it like a growth track or a student development pipeline. And so one of the things that we would try to do is get kids in young. They would work their way through the pipeline so they'd have different opportunities as they got older. So everything from playing in bands to participating in concerts to even getting up to being teenage interns, so thriving intern program. And some people even went right through the pipeline from, music bus lessons to private lessons to, group private lessons to our intern program, our junior teaching program, our holiday program, working on that program, to even doing gap year internships, becoming paid professional teachers. It's really crazy. And so everything was about trying to get students in the door from as young an age as possible. Now, as I mentioned, one of the ways we would do that is getting into schools. And there was a school that I tried to get us into for over 10 years, and I wasn't able to get it over the line. We work with, I think, about 30, it was about 35 schools when I transitioned my role, and they've grown more schools now. One of the schools that they just secured was the school that I had tried every year for 10 years to get into and wasn't able to make it happen. They had other programs, other teachers, and they would say, we love you guys, and we'd still come and do free concerts, and we'd get some students, but we couldn't get our program into the school. And these programs, why it matters is we would have sometimes anything between 30 to 80 students sign up in a day. We had quite a few times we'd actually cross 100 students that sign up in one day. Our record was 155 students in one concert. I've actually just recently got the footage from that concert, and I'm going to do a little vlog on it and show you, not the whole show, but Chris on my team found a snippet of this concert, and so I'm going to share that with you in another vlog, which will be a whole lot of fun. But so we'd be going and hustling, trying to get into these schools. This one here, the team finally closed the deal. Took 10 years of investing in that school and with no massive return, and now they're into that school, and it's because of all that groundwork. And so you might hear this and go, oh, what an exhausting process. But now, this is like a really large school in an affluent area, so they'll probably get 100 plus students in that concert, signed up for lessons, paying, whatever it is, $20, $30 a week. That's a huge return. And so a few things that I want to draw out of this story, I know it was a long one, thanks for sticking with me if you're still here, is number one is that a brand or a business can wait that length, whereas a solo teacher can't. And so you definitely want to be thinking like one of the smarter things to do is to not just be teaching solo. You want to be building a business, not just building a job. And so therefore, if you are a business, you've got a brand, it exists with different people through time as different staff members come on board, they come and go, your brand stays forever. And so you've obviously got to protect your brand and keep the reputation quality high. But it's the brand that people want. They want that program from that school, that business. It's no longer an individual. And so if you were an individual who, you might be the best piano teacher, guitar teacher in town, and schools may want you at their school, but they're not gonna wait around for 10 years for you, and you're not gonna wait around for 10 years for them. But a brand can actually wait that long, and so that was a really cool thing to see. Many times we just have to simply wait it out. So if there were schools where there were other teachers teaching and we weren't able to get our programs in, well, sometimes we just had to wait for those teachers to move on. If there was a school where the principal maybe they didn't like us, or they just were anti-music, or anti, kids coming out of class for lessons, or anti-big, concerts and promotional things, we sometimes just had to wait for that principal to move on. And you can do that when you are a brand, a school, and you can just move on to the next deal, but you have your sales strategy, and you have your kind of CRM, your list of all the people that you're working through, and every year you're like, hey, what's our strategy for trying to stay in touch with this school, stay networking with them, keep them fresh in our minds. And they had even told us, this particular school, hey, as soon as these teachers move on, you're our first call. And what happened was the principal moved on, retired, big celebration, lovely guy, and another principal took over, and that principal happened to be from one of the first schools that we ever signed up for our program. And so one of the first things she does is goes, hey, this music school that we run, Good Time Music Academy, has made such a difference in our school, we're signing it up at this new school. And so she did that, and so the 10-year wait of all that investment trying to get in there paid off finally. And so that there is a pretty cool story about waiting your time. And so don't give up on the sales stuff that you're trying to do. It might not be around getting into schools. It could be anything. Like, wait it out. It could be trying to get the best tutor that you really want. It could be trying to get that admin person that you'd love to have work on your team. It could be trying to get that sponsorship from that local music store. It could be trying to get that funding from that local trust that helps music and arts. All those things require you to wait it out. Also, build a brand. Like, focus on not just being, me, Jonny Wilson, drum teacher. No, you build a school. It's not about you anymore. So my school, I was able to grow it to the point where it would run without me and grow without me, and points where I could take weeks off and it would just tick along, and then weeks where I can just work on all the other projects, and then where I can actually sell it and be an advisor, be on the board, work on the charitable stuff, and the whole thing keeps running. And so build yourself a business, not just a job. I could go out tomorrow, build myself a job by filling my timetable up with students, but it's not what I want to do. So think about, for you, are you going to build a job or a business? And if you build a business, build a strong brand that people know, recognize. It can't be about you. It's got to be able to exist when you're gone in one form or another. You might sell it, you might gift it to family, you might move away, you might retire one day. In some way, you're not going to have it forever. And so building a company that lasts without you is a big goal. And if you think like that, even though you think, I'm going to die on the job doing this, I love it, I'll never give up, it's going to be so much more important that you have that kind of philosophy from the beginning, because it makes you run the place different as you're growing. And so you make smarter decisions, you're able to make longer term plays, and you can wait out 10 years for a certain sale to take over. So there we go. That is my my little story for you today. I hope you found some encouragement and some disciplined actions within that story. If you haven't already checked out our Build a Music School, check it out. Grab a free 7-day trial to our program. You'll not only get access to myself and every single resource that helped me build the largest music school in New Zealand, but it's not like a dictator model where it's all about me. We've got hundreds of other studio owners where everyone's pouring throwing in their best ideas, their best resources, and you can get 7-day free trial. Come have a look. There'll be a link down below. Check it out. Cool. See you in the next video, guys.